You know what happens when your wife tells you the door's right there after flirting all night? You use it. And trust me, what happened next proved I made the right choice. It started at the company barbecue. My wife had been acting different for weeks, more distant, always on her phone, but that Saturday afternoon everything became crystal clear. We walked into the backyard gathering and within minutes she was gravitating toward this guy from her department. Let's call him the office charmer. I watched as she laughed at his jokes, touched his arm when she talked, and leaned in way too close when he whispered something in her ear. The kind of body language that screams availability. Meanwhile I'm standing there like a decoration, holding 2 drinks while my wife acts like she's single. After an hour of this performance I walked over. Hey, ready for that drink? I handed her the glass, making my presence known. She barely glanced at me, just took the drink and immediately turned back to him. Oh, this is my husband, she said like I was some distant relative she had to acknowledge. The guy gave me a weak handshake and a smirk. You know the type, the kind who thinks married women are just a different kind of challenge. Your wife's been telling me about her new project, he said. Sounds fascinating. Which project? I asked, genuinely curious since she hadn't mentioned any new work to me. The marketing campaign for the wellness retreat. She jumped in quickly. I told you about it last week. She hadn't, but I let it slide and tried to join the conversation. Every time I spoke she'd interrupt or change the subject. When I made a comment about the music, she rolled her eyes. When I mentioned we should probably check on the food, she said, we just got there. The final straw came when another colleague joined us. My wife immediately introduced the office charmer by name, mentioned his achievements, his recent promotion. Then she gestured vaguely in my direction and said, and this is my husband. Not my name, not what I do, just my husband, like I was an accessory. I excused myself and walked to the other side of the yard. Maybe I was overreacting, maybe she was just being social. But 30 minutes later she was still there, still laughing, still touching his arm, still acting like a woman who definitely wasn't wearing a wedding ring. I decided to test something. I walked back over and said, hey, I'm thinking about heading home soon, got that early morning thing tomorrow. She looked at me like I just suggested we burn the house down. We just got here, why don't you go get another drink or talk to someone else? I'd rather talk to my wife, I said calmly. That's when her mask slipped, the fake smile disappeared, and she gave me a look that could cut glass. Look, I'm having a conversation here. If you're not comfortable with me being social, maybe you should examine why that is. The office charmer shifted uncomfortably. Even he could sense this was about to get ugly. I'm comfortable with you being social, I replied. I'm not comfortable with you flirting. The words hung in the air like a challenge. She straightened up, crossed her arms and delivered the line that changed everything. I'm not flirting, I'm being friendly, and if you can't handle that, the door's right there. She pointed toward the gate with a defiant smirk, expecting me to back down, apologize, maybe even beg. The office charmer looked between us like he was watching a tennis match. A few people nearby had stopped their conversations to watch the show. I looked at the gate, then I looked at her. Then I looked back at the gate. You know what? You're absolutely right. I pulled out my car keys and started walking. Behind me I heard her call out, wait, where are you going?